Coming up, have you ever tried Dolphin software and Shaun's not well? Oh.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, Shaun's not well today. I guess that's going to be the big story of the day. Never mind anything else. That's all we're going to talk about.
Breaking news.
Shaun's not
I can't
well.
even do it. I've got a cold, Stephen Scott.
Oh,
a cold. I know.
Cold. Oh.
Yeah, thanks for your sympathy. It's so nice.
That was so heartfelt, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to have to cough now. Excuse me.
This is basically going to be the entire episode, is Shaun saying, I can't speak.
Going to the gym.
Do I need to call Michael Babcock? Do I need to call him in?
Yeah, Mickey B, you're on standby. No, I'm fine. Just picked up a little bit of a cold. The weather's changed, you know. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Changed? It doesn't feel like it's changed at all to me. I live in Scotland, so it's continually cold.
You live in that room. What are you talking about? That's why.
And I have air conditioning on all the time. So, as I said, it's continually cold. Yeah, it is changing a little bit. I will say we had a storm come through. What was the name of it? Amy. That was it. Storm Amy.
Yes, Storm Amy.
I don't know who names these things, but that's a nice name. And the thing is, you shouldn't give them names like that. You know, Amy's a nice name. You know, I expect destruction, not from someone called Amy. I expect...
That's true. It should be
Hercules.
Voldemort or something. My tree blew down. I had to chop up a tree, Stephen Scott. Talk about being manly. I mean, obviously I got Sarah to do it because I couldn't do it. I got the saw stuck and I started crying because I got a blister. But, you know, I chopped up a tree. So, grr, etc. I'm all man.
Wow, that's brilliant. Well, listen, I'm really proud of you, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I have to say, though, you did get into the sawing thing. I have used a saw once or twice. Can I tell you a little story?
Are we talking about this, are we?
Well, this is a funny story. I think it was funny. I can tell it now because everybody involved in this story is not dead.
Oh, dear.
No, wow. It's not like that. No, it's not like that.
Okay.
But everyone in this story knows about it, put it that way, right? So it's not like we did keep it for a secret for a little while, and then most of the family found out about it, and then it just became this big, Christmas conversation.
I am so nervous
announced
right
what
now.
happened, and my father was less than impressed. It basically involved the family car. So... see if you can figure. I want you to figure out where this one ends. Right, you got to work out the ending of this story.
Feedback at doubletaponair.com.
We'll tell you tomorrow. So what happened is we were trying to get a root of a tree out of my grand's garden. And we tried everything we could. We were using a spade. We were digging. We were trying everything we could.
It's impossible.
And we did. We managed to dig a little bit, and we got to move a little bit. But it's so difficult with these trees they've been there for so long, and the root was all that was left. And we wanted to get it out, and we couldn't figure out. My mother and I. My mother was the DIY. Always has been the DIY person in our house. She wanted to do this quickly. She was getting fed up now. And she said, we need to do something here. We need to get this moving because I need to get on with my life.
Yeah.
And so she decided to do something. What did she decide to do?
I know exactly what she did. You've spoiled it already. She got a chain, tied it around the stump, and then tied it to the, I'm going to say, rear axle or the bumper of the car.
Chain is being a little bit ambitious.
Okay. A rope.
Yeah. String, essentially. I mean, fairly robust string, not quite rope.
Twine.
I mean, there's a link. There's a line, I think, between string and rope. I don't know quite what that.
A washing line.
Yeah, something like that, right? Something quite strong. And she tied it to the back of the car. And let's just say, when both, and I'm not kidding you, when both back wheels of the car started turning inwards as she was driving forwards to move this stump of this tree, when both of the back wheels started to turn in towards each other, we kind of knew something had gone wrong. She basically destroyed the car.
Yeah, but did the stump come out?
No.
No, of course not. No. Well done. Did you hide it?
Well, it was hard to hide a car that was in the middle of a road it would almost appear in pieces.
Just turn in circles.
Yeah, that's right. It felt like one of those little French cars of back in the day, you know. So so we had to call the AA, as we do over here. I don't know what it is anywhere else, but the Automobile Association to come and rescue us. And I say rescue us. I mean, the guy just laughed.
Rescue you?
The guy
Did you just
laughed.
fix my car before
He
my
actually
dad
said,
notices?
I don't know why you bothered calling me. You need to call the guy that comes with a
Because
tow
you've got
truck
a big lorry. I want you to take
to
the stump
destroy
out for
this
me.
thing. Yeah, no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, you're here. Can we tie this to your? So anyway, we got rid of the car, and we had to. And my mother came up with some excuse about, there was an accident, and a bus and something, and she blamed other people.
Well, that's a disgrace, Stephen Scott. Can I just say that if you are blind, you can do DIY. You're perfectly capable.
But you can't drive a car.
Don't let people. Well, yeah.
And certainly you can't drive a car whilst attached to a tree stump. That is for sure.
Know your limits, okay?
Oh, it was a fun day, I'll tell you. It was a fun day. Well, it was. I mean, we laughed a lot, and then we didn't laugh for a very long time because no one was laughing about it for a very long time.
Because you had to walk everywhere for a while.
And we had to buy a new car, and it got very expensive. And then after that, we told the story at Christmas, and everyone laughed except my father, who found it rather unamusing, but then found the funny side. So it was all
no
good.
sense of humour. Some people.
I know they don't get it. And if I think you kind of get if you know my mother, you know me, as I often say, and you're getting the idea now of what my mother was like and where I got it from.
I get the reason why you're, hammering in screws to put up your smart blind motor. Yeah, I get it now.
I did also, this was the thing, so we got these little lights for the bedroom, and I'm trying to find a way to make them smart. They're not very smart, but they basically come with a little remote. They've got an infrared controller, and you charge them up via USB-C. And I've got an idea of how I could make these smart, because basically you buy something from, say, Switchbot or one of those companies, and you can put like a little IR blaster, a little infrared blaster.
That's what you need.
And
IR blaster, controllable via your smart speaker.
Yep. And then you can just say turn on the bedroom lights, and that will just blast out the signal that turns them on and off, obviously. But anyway, I got these, and it came with screws, and my wife was immediately terrified because she said, no, that's it, the bedroom's ruined. He's going to get the hammer out, and here we go. And I said, no. I am going to screw these screws into the wall. I'm going to do it properly. Now, it did come with raw plugs.
That means you need to drill first.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't have a drill, and I'm not allowed near drills. So I thought...
Is that a law? Or?
I think it is. I think somewhere in the
house.
Scottish statute books it says Stephen Scott must never touch any equipment that will harm him or everyone else around him.
I can never drill straight. It's always slanted up or down or to the left or to the right. It's really, you need a audible spirit level attached to a drill.
No, you need a man or woman who know what they're doing.
No. I'm saying it's vision related. Purely that.
Fine.
Nothing to do with talent.
No. Well, I decided to skip that part and just screw the screw into the wall. And it's held fine.
Oh.
So
with
far.
no raw plug?
No. I just screwed it right into the wall. Now, it's just chipboard wall, right? I mean, it's a newish
you're
house.
fine.
So, these houses are made of papier-mâché.
Ah, you're a hero, sir. So what you've got there is a battery-powered light that you screwed onto a wall.
Well, the light part actually comes off. It's got a little magnetic mount. Very clever, actually.
I'm with you.
So it's like a little ball mount, and
That's
have
what
this...
I was going to ask, how you charge it up.
Well, I was also thinking if I put the light in a certain way, I could have a USB cable run down the back, and, then you could just have it forever powered, but...
I'm sure that'll look beautiful.
That would look beautiful, just like a big cable
USB
trailing down the wall.
Nailed to the wall. That'd be great. I can't see any problem with that.
No, it'd be fine. So, I would do that. In my office here, I would do that. No problem at all. You would do it in your shed, but,
yeah, absolutely.
in living areas where other people exist, that's frowned upon.
Okay. So we need an accessible IR blaster hardware. I had the Harmony for a long time.
Oh, the
Harmony
Logitech one.
Logitech, yeah. And that was expensive. I'm sure it was like $150 to $200, something like that.
Yeah.
And the app was accessible. No, not really. It was hard work. It never got used properly.
It was Logitech, was it? Just like
exactly.
every other Logitech app.
Nothing's changed. Yeah, that was about 10 years ago.
Kind of ish, yeah.
But I know I've seen cheaper ones out there that are IR blasters, smart IR blasters. So I just don't know if they're accessible or not. So if any of our listeners have any experience, let us know.
Yeah, SwitchBot's the one I keep hearing about. I never really understand the whole SwitchBot thing, though, because I think you got to buy a hub as well as buy... Because the thing, I had one ages ago to control my air conditioner unit, and it worked okay. The problem was I could never get it to stay anywhere because I wasn't using the right screws, clearly. It just kept falling off the wall because I was using sticky tape to hold it onto the wall. Which
What, your air conditioning unit?
No, the SwitchBot controller, the little IR blaster.
What are you sticking it to a wall for? Just stick
Because it has to aim at the thing. It's not you can just sit it anywhere in the room. It has to aim at the device.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but usually
So I have to
it's
stick
quite
it to
a
the
wide
opposite
angle.
wall. Not really.
All right,
It was quite picky about where it sat.
All right. Okay.
But like me on a bus. Listen, today we're going to talk all about an alternative screen reader. And I feel like I don't want to say it like that. But
Well, don't.
Well, I kind of feel I have to do that because that's how it's often portrayed. So, we talk about NVDA, we talk about JAWS, we talk about narrator, we talk about voiceover, Chromebox. Sorry. But, that's an option, I believe. Is that still going? Is Chromebox
Yes,
still
just
a
leave
thing?
it now.
Right, okay.
You've already done the damage. Carry on.
I don't know. I don't use Chromebooks. I don't know. In fact, I want to talk about Chromebooks at some point because I saw a thing about Chrome Flex. Is that what they call it? Chrome OS Flex?
Yeah, basically you could make any laptop into a Chromebook by installing Chrome OS.
And so if you've got a really old computer and you think, I want to, still use it, but, especially with the whole Windows 10 to Windows 11 upgrade happening, people are, being forced essentially now to, obviously, being forced to do anything, but there'll be no support anymore. We're going to talk more about that actually next week. But, we're at that point where really you probably want to get yourself onto Windows 11 if you can. And for a lot of blind people, I know that's not a thing you want to hear. And I'm not suggesting that Chrome OS Flex is the answer either, because that's a whole other operating system. But the point is that if you had hardware,
older hardware,
exactly, if you've got older hardware that you want to use for something, even just playing around, because the great thing with this is it will be accessible. You'll have a screen reader on there. It's not. I know a lot of people like to play around with Linux and things, but I've got to be honest, guys. That's for the geeks and the nerds. That's for the people who've.
I'm so sorry. I can only apologize for him.
But
there are VI-friendly distros.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Distro, what is that? Is that not a place you go for lunch?
Distributions.
Right. Again, it makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Packages.
I don't know what it means. Would I have to go and see a guy?
Leave it then.
What is it?
Well, don't worry about it.
Yeah, not interested. But anyway, we're talking about screen readers. So yeah, lots of options out there. And one that I get hit on quite a lot about is, you never mention Dolphin. You never talk about Dolphin. And it's true. We don't often bring it up in conversation, and it never really appears in the conversation. And I want to change that. So today, we've invited on Simon Kitchen, who's the Chief Commercial Officer. That's his real name. Simon Kitchen, the Chief Commercial Officer for Dolphin Computer Access. And he is here to tell us all about the product and a special offer they're running, I think, to lure certain, let's just say, sharky type users, over maybe to a friendlier Dolphin. Who knows?
Well, that's so subtle, Stephen Scott. What could you possibly be talking about?
No idea.
It's a good offer.
No one will figure that one out. That is cryptic. Simon Kitchen is with us here on Double Tap. Simon, welcome to the show.
Hi, Stephen. Hi, Shaun. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here, Simon. And we're here to talk about all things Dolphin and Dolphin Computer Access. I think we've got to start with the obvious question here, Shaun. Simon, what is Dolphin Computer Access for people who don't know?
Dolphin, we're an assistive technology company. We're based in the UK. And we provide assistive technology for people who are blind and people who are partially sighted or have low vision. And it's all about being able to access information so that anybody can read, can learn, and can work in a way that's accessible for them. So we're based in the UK, but I appreciate we have you have a fantastic audience from all around the world with Double Tap, and we are an international company as well at Dolphin. So we work with a range of partners who are assistive technology specialists all around the world, from North America to Australia, throughout Europe, in Asia, and the rest of the world as well, to make assistive technology available around the world as well. And it's fair to say we're not a new company either. We've got a rich history here at Dolphin, where we've been very central to part of the assistive technology community. So we were formed actually in 1986. So we've been going for around about 39 years now. So next year will be a big anniversary for Dolphin, which is going to be great.
Listen, I want to say congratulations, but I'm also kind of thinking, when you said 1986, that did not feel like all those years ago that you just said.
Well, it may to me, because I would have applied for a job at the time, but I was only a toddler.
Okay.
We're talking about being a real part of the story right from the sort of inception of assisted technology. Mm-hmm. So back in the days where text-to-speech synthesizers weren't available as software, Dolphin was creating sort of hardware boxes which plug, for text-to-speech synthesizers like our Apollo, which used to plug into a computer and was a separate hardware. I mean, Dolphin's first screen reader was HAL for DOS, so we're talking before Windows as well. So, Dolphin really has a rich history in the assisted technology community, back from, all those early days, and we're still going really strong today with SuperNova providing accessibility for Windows devices and for Windows apps as well.
Well, I'm going to jump straight in and put both feet in my mouth and say, you have been going for decades. I'm well aware of that. So why is it that it's still Jules and NVDA that are spoken about as choices and Dolphin isn't? I mean, you have been there for the longest time. I've used your software in the when I was at college, which was the late 80s. So why do you think that is? Why do you think that Dolphin is not mentioned in the same level as Jules and NVDA?
Well, I wouldn't think it's fair for me to really comment on other assistive technology, but what I can comment on is Dolphin assisted technology. And, with SuperNova, we are offering world-leading magnification and screen reading for Windows. We have SuperNova, which is available, and Dolphin Screen Reader, which is available in 4 different editions. We have SuperNova Magnifier and Speech, which are kind of akin to sort of Zoom text. And they're offering accessibility for people with mild sight loss, low vision, maybe sight fluctuating throughout the day, where speech can be important as well. We offer a complete magnifier and screen reader with SuperNova, which is ideal for people who have maybe transitioning or progressive sight loss, where becoming more reliant on a screen reader and less reliant on the visuals, on the magnification as well. And we also have Dolphin Screen Reader as well, which is more suitable for people who are blind and not reliant on, not able to kind of benefit from the sorts of magnification elements as well. So, one of the ideal things with SuperNova is we're talking about one product which kind of stays, because sight loss changes over there. Everybody's experience of sight loss is different, and everyone's experience of sight loss changes over time. So with SuperNova, we're talking about one product which really helps to, support. You don't have to learn a new product as your sight changes over time. You can transition through the different editions as your sort of site requires. So I don't think it's necessarily fair for me to comment on any of the other assistive technology, but I just want to get the main point here is with Dolphin that we are offering support for tens of thousands of people around the world who are blind and partially sighted. Maybe there might be other products which are also known in the space, but Dolphin's very much a big part of the assistive technology community as well.
Yeah, I agree. And you do offer a range of products on a par with the others out there. I wonder if it's to do with you being UK based and people not knowing, because you mentioned there you are available around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we work with a range of companies, as I mentioned, throughout America. And, we're talking about people, companies that are, fantastic and experts in assistive technology, and not just, in terms of making the technology available, but supporting customers, because that's really important, having the, somebody available to help you when there's a technical problem as well. And yes, we are available, throughout the world, as you say, with a lot of the technology that we're providing.
Yeah, and I think it's important we talk a little bit about the software because, SuperNova as a screen reader, as a magnifier, or one or t'other, I guess, depending on your needs, comes as that package. Tell us about that. Tell me more about it, because I know about SuperNova from way back, way back when I think I was at school. It was 1995, I think, around the time I first saw SuperNova. And it was magnification at that time that I was interested in. But I did hear about the speech and the screen reader. It was kind of new to me at that point. But of course, it's developed massively since then. And one thing I always remember about it, and I'm probably going to get myself into trouble by saying this, but I often remember being told by people who kind of knew their stuff, knew their onions on this stuff, that they would say, oh, well, SuperNova is a much better magnification option than other options out there. Let's just say. And I often find that quite interesting. In my own experience, I have to say I felt the same way. And I've mentioned this on the show before, Simon, that, when I was at the stage of going into work and having access to work in the UK, which, provides an excellent service when you can get access to it, to, help you get access to software and much more. I remember someone coming to me and telling me that I needed to get Zoom text. And I couldn't understand why that was my only choice, but that's what I got. And I often felt it was a shame that happened, that actually I ended up with a product which I enjoyed and used. And to be fair, I didn't use Zoom text for long. I moved on to screen readers after that. And it was JAWS I went with. And that was because it just seemed to be almost the default, as Shaun was saying. But SuperNova is very much an option. Now, I know you don't want to compare, but I think it is important we understand how this system works. How does it compare? We do have to, I guess, compare a little bit in terms of, what else is out there. How similar might it be? I mean, many people say, for example, that JAWS and NVDA are kind of similar in a lot of ways. JAWS might have more functionality over here and NVDA may have other functions that people like over here. How does Dolphin fit into the picture, I guess, is what I'm asking you.
Absolutely. It's a great question, Stephen. So as I mentioned before, we do have the different editions of SuperNova which are available, and they are comparable to some of the other products which are available, such as the magnification elements being similar to sort of Zoom text. So I'll kind of cover in we'll cover in sort of stages. But really, effectively, what we're talking about with assistive technology and magnification and screen reading, it's about what people are trying to achieve. And I can talk about features and that are available in SuperNova, but effectively, we're talking about accessibility for Windows 11, for Windows applications, so that people with any level of sight are able to use Microsoft Office 365, able to use web browsers, able to use Adobe Reader, Google Apps, and other Windows-based applications in a way that they find accessible. So I think that's a really important point to make, just for the kind of context. And there's obviously lots of ways that you do that, and lots of the ways that the technology enhances accessibility. So with our magnification, we offer extremely clear text smoothing, which is our true font technology, so that even when you zoom into high levels in Microsoft Office, you get really crystal clear text, enabling people to do all the things that you'd sort of expect from a magnification product, such as customizing the colors so that you can view in comfort, applying high contrast mouse pointers, highlighting, all of those sorts of things that you'd sort of expect to be able to do from a high quality magnification solution. But then we also go above and beyond to help people to be more productive with magnification, so we can work across multiple monitors and really flexible, so you can have different applications magnified on different screens, so you can multitask. And we also have world-leading support for touchscreen magnification as well, which we find particularly for young people in education, being able to kind of have more control and flexibility about how you explore the screen. So you can zoom in, to where your fingers are pinching to zoom and explore the screen in a very intuitive way with our touchscreen magnification. So those are some of the ways that, perhaps we're a little bit different from some of the other products which are available for magnification. And then equally with screen reading, SuperNova and Dolphin Screen Reader are providing this, all the sorts of accessibility you'd expect, from a screen reader. So we're talking about clear and responsive announcements as you're typing, as you're exploring the screen, a virtual cursor so you can explore the screen using the keyboard and get to all the different areas of the screen and have that content read back, so you're aware of what to do next. Quick navigation options, so you're not having to press down arrow a gazillion times. You can jump straight to links on web pages or headings in documents, in a real intuitive way. Support for refreshable Braille displays, so SuperNova supporting 60 different displays, or more than 60 different displays from industry leading manufacturers, for so you can explore the screen using your Braille display, have the content read back to you, and input text as well, using Braille. But a lot of these are the sorts of attributes that you'd expect from a magnification and screen reading solution. But with SuperNova, we also go above and beyond that to make more content accessible. So we work with, for example, a range of cameras, whether that's high quality video magnifiers or more affordable document cameras, so that printed resources can become accessible through magnification and speech. And similarly with scanners and compatibility with a range of scanners. So we're working with print-based resources to make those accessible. Within the education sphere, we're also working with schools to make whiteboards accessible, so that young people with vision impairments can view the teacher's whiteboard on their screen and see anywhere in the classroom, to zoom in and magnify and really be integrated into that classroom environment as well.
Wow,
very nice.
With SuperNova, we also include another one of Dolphin's products, which I'm sure many of your listeners will be very familiar with, which is Dolphin EasyReader, is included as a fundamental part of SuperNova as well. And with EasyReader, it's all about removing barriers to reading. So we're connecting to 50 different libraries around the world, accessible libraries, including Bookshare and RNIB in the UK, CELA in Canada, Vision Australia, many different libraries around the world, so that people can read in a way that's accessible. And with SuperNova, anyone who has a software maintenance agreement, which I think is fairly standard term for keeping your software up to date, that also entitles you to the premium features of EasyReader, so you can read across devices, so you can download your books using your Windows computer with EasyReader, and then carry on reading where you left off on your smartphone or your tablet as well. So these are some of the ways which SuperNova is it's been established for years, and offering world-leading magnification and screen reading, but it also helps to go above and beyond, to make more content accessible as well.
Oh, you're making me want to jump in now. I want to learn a new screen reader. This sounds interesting. Do you know, another thing which I've got to say I loved about Dolphin products, in particular with SuperNova, and when I did use the magnification, was the specialist keyboards you had. Now, I'm a bit of a keyboard nut, as Shaun knows only too well. And
we all know.
Yes. And I loved that. I loved the fact you could have a dedicated keyboard for the program, and of course all the keys and all the things you would learn. It was like it took away a lot of the fear around learning shortcuts, which was a big thing when it comes to learning a screen reader, or any software, quite frankly, these days. You've got to learn so many shortcuts. Is that still a thing?
The specialized keyboards?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer the Dolphin keyboard, which has designated keys at the top to control some of the shortcuts, so that you can change your color screen, zoom in, zoom out, all of those sorts of things without having to remember shortcuts. But I think it's a really important point there you mentioned as well, because really you used the word choice earlier on, and choice is really, really important. So, yes, you can use the Dolphin keyboard, where it has the specialist media keys. We also have introduced, layered hotkeys as well to SuperNova, because sometimes, there are key presses where you kind of need the sort of dexterity of a spider to be able to reach across the different keys. So with layered hotkeys, you're having to, you're not having to kind of stretch your fingers and remember complicated combinations. You can you can enter a hotkey layer and then select the shortcut that you want, using single key presses, which is much easier. But we also offer, you mentioned before about around choice and learning all the shortcut keys, and I know that a lot of people maybe listening to the show today are kind of familiar with the shortcuts that they're using in ZoomText, or they're using in JAWS or Fusion. So we do offer what we call emulation hotkeys. So you can actually use the shortcut keys you're familiar with from a different assistive technology product and use those to control the accessibility settings in SuperNova as well. So that's one of the ways it can really help to kind of bridge that kind of learning gap. If people are looking to try different assistive technology products.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
that's genius.
That is good. That is brilliant, actually, isn't it?
It is, because the main worry people have, it's almost like we feel trapped. That sounds a little bit harsh, but it does feel like you're trapped with the software because of the learning curve, right? And especially if you're trying to get things done, you don't want to take that time that it may need to learn, 1,000 different keyboard shortcuts. So the ability to say, hey, I'm an ex-NVDA user, load up that key map would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important. I mean, with Dolphin and some of the things we're talking about today, we are offering lots of different options to kind of try the assistive technology and learning, get started in a way that's intuitive. So with SuperNova, it's available as a 30-day trial. That's an uninterrupted trial. You don't have to kind of restart your computer, every so often, you can use it.
Like every 40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But the trial also includes support from our team as well. So if there are any technical issues, then you can get support from either from Dolphin if you're in the UK, or from one of our trusted distributors if you're trialing it from a different country as well. We've also introduced a range of options both through the software and online to kind of help people to kind of get started, because as you say, it can feel a little bit like you use the word trapped, but there is a big learning curve. So we've got the Dolphin Learning Zone, which is available on the Dolphin website. This includes a range of courses with both text and video-based sort of tutorials. So you can learn each edition of SuperNova, whichever your preferred edition is based on your level of sight, but also tutorials on how to use SuperNova with Microsoft Word, with Excel, with Outlook, with Google Apps, with Teams, and other applications that and popular web browsers as well. So you can not just learning how to use the accessibility features, but how to use the technology in practice with the applications as well. We've also made some resources available. We've created a landing page about our offer, which we're going to be talking about shortly, which kind of has this information about what's the terminology in different assistive technology projects, and how does that relate to the SuperNova features or the Dolphin screen reader features, which are kind of comparative as well. And with the latest version of SuperNova, which is version 24, we've also introduced what we call our Ask AI feature, which incorporates a help facility so that you can just ask SuperNova a question. So how do I turn on the Dolphin cursor, for example, to explore the screen with a keyboard? And then SuperNova will go off and it will look through, the AI will look through our manual, our training resources on the learning zone, our knowledge base, and other supporting material to then come back with like a step-by-step answer, so that you don't have to kind of trawl through a manual or look through a quick reference guide just to find out, a shortcut key that you're looking for.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
So using the latest version, and we do have a roadmap of introducing additional features to make the most of AI, but not from a gimmicky way, from a way that's going to actually benefit people who are vision impaired, to get the most out of their assistive technology and access more information and make more content accessible as well.
Simon, I want to ask you a little bit about international support, because like you say, we talk to an international audience here. A lot of people around the world will be interested in this, and maybe more so when they hear about the offer. I feel like one of those infomercials, it's like, just tell me the price. But, we'll get to that in a minute. There is an offer that we want to tell you about, which is very interesting, especially the timing of that particular offer, but we'll come to that. But what support is out there for people internationally? So if you are listening in Nairobi right now, we have a lot of listeners in Nairobi. Hi, Nairobi. But, there, for example, someone says, hey, I'd like to try this out. I'm going to download the demo. I'm going to give it a go. You talk about having that support access. Is that an international support?
It is an international support, because when you complete the form to request a trial of SuperNova or Dolphin Screen Reader, you get to choose, if you're in different, outside the UK, you will get to choose which of our, distributors provide support for you. And then they can then be in touch to make sure that you're getting the best experience out of the product as well. So as I mentioned before, we have lots of different distributors, trusted distributors or experts with assistive technology who are available to kind of help. So after you have downloaded the trial, you have that support network in place to make sure that any any problems you have are resolved, and you can really get the most out of using the assisted technology.
Okay, let's talk about the software announcement or the discount announcement that you've made in regards to price. Let's talk about that.
Excellent. So I think, and I think this is actually a kind of theme which has possibly come up in the show, before, in terms of, there's a lot of sort of concern around the price of assistive technology and price changes, but also about that choice about, being able to upgrade your software as well. So there's there is a lot of concern and anxiety, and we hear that as well. It's it comes up in through Double Tap, but also where we're talking to people, vision impaired people in the community at events, or we're talking to our partners. We're hearing the same sorts of things about the price of assistive technology sort of being a barrier, and really people having to make quite difficult decisions about whether they're able to keep their assistive technology up to date, or how they're going to be able to keep their assistive technology up to date. And this is, really understandable as well, because, for a few reasons, why it would be creating this sort of anxiety. I mean, with magnification and screen reading, we're not talking about a commodity. We're talking about an essential tool for accessing information. It's a tool that, effectively, you wouldn't want to be living without. So we're not talking about a choice of, do I just stop using, my assistive technology? People are reliant on it, for, whether they're at home and accessing information online, or in education and being able to access the curriculum and prepare for a future and succeed, in school or in the workplace to actually do their job. So that's the first reason, because we're not talking about a commodity, but really, it's more important than ever to be able to keep your assistive technology up to date. We know that Microsoft are, looking to stop support for Windows 10. So, people may be needing to transition to the latest versions to have support for Windows 11. But also with Microsoft, providing rolling updates to Windows, rolling updates to Office 365. It's really important to be able to keep your assistive technology up to date. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago that we put some hot fixes out because of an update that made, impacted the accessibility of the Windows Start menu and using Microsoft Edge. So, we as an assistive technology company can be really responsive to that. But, it's important for people to kind of keep the assistive technology up to date. But a lot of people have also invested a lot in their assistive technology products as well. So as you say before, there may be people out there who are kind of, you used the word trapped, and kind of stuck in terms of what to do next. In terms of being able to keep their assistive technology up to date. So, with Dolphin, we're staying true to our values of providing world-leading assistive technology, but a fair deal for anybody who's vision impaired, so that you can so that you can have access to the assistive technology.
Right, come on, Simon, you're selling it. Come on, get to the price.
Yes, we're all waiting.
So Dolphin products are already available at a more affordable price point than, say, some of the other other products, I should say, that are available. But we're putting an offer together that goes way above and beyond this as well. So we're offering a 50% discount off a license to SuperNova, a full license to SuperNova, with a 12-month maintenance agreement as well. And that's available for anyone who's using JAWS, who's using Zoom Text, or using Fusion as well. So just to be clear, what we're talking about here is a full license of SuperNova that you can use for as long as you like. It comes with a 12-month maintenance agreement as well, which keeps the assistive technology up to date. Once that 12 months is up, you can renew that, or you can, if your technology does become out of date, we continue to offer upgrades as well, and that choice of upgrading when you want, rather than having to make sort of difficult decisions. But this is not a subscription. This is a full license of SuperNova or Dolphin Screen Reader. It's available worldwide as well, and our offer through our trusted partners, and it's available for until the end of this year as well, throughout 2025.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Now, I'm an NVDA user. Can I get 50% off?
So we've made, yes, as I said before, we've made the offer available for people using, different products where, maybe they've all been in a position where they have invested a lot of, a lot financially into a different product. So that's why, why we're making this offer available. But when we look at the price of Dolphin products compared to, the alternatives, it does come in at a more affordable price point anyway. So that really highlights, we're already starting at a fair price, and then we're providing this, a 50% discount off both the license and the maintenance agreement for the first year as well. So it really is a fantastic offer that's available.
So let's talk about the numbers here. What price are we talking about?
So
how much is it?
We'd be happy if anyone wants to get in touch. We can we can sort of provide a quote. But really, if you're looking at if I just give a couple of examples for the UK and for the States. So in the UK, we're talking about Screen Reader. Your full license would work out to £415, and that includes the software maintenance agreement as well. In the States, that would be $552.50. Again, for the full license and the maintenance agreement as well. So that's for the screen reader element. And then we have different prices for different editions as well. So it's, we're not talking about, we're still talking, we're talking about, investments, etc. But, at a much more affordable price point than perhaps people have seen in the past. So
yeah, no, that's fair, I guess. I mean, it does. I mean, there's no denial that assistive technology costs money, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, to ask you a direct question on this, is this sustainable for you to do this?
Well, this is a limit.
It's a lot of money that obviously it costs to make and create this product. If you slash the price by half, what impact does that have on you as a team?
Well, absolutely, and that's it's available as a limited offer, and I think that's something that we really do need to evaluate as well. But it's available until the end of this year, and in which and we will be looking into it sort of further at that point.
And what happens? What happens next year? So once that 12 months runs out, what happens at the end of the 12 months? Because you say then you would sign up for another software maintenance agreement, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you get the choice. You can choose to sign up to a software maintenance, which we'd always recommend. It's an affordable way of keeping your assistive technology up to date. And it means that you get access to the major version upgrades, that happen. Any minor version updates as well for SuperNova or Dolphin Screen Reader are also available. So if there are any changes made by, rolling updates, we can provide fixes for, to keep the assistive technology.
And how much does that cost to do
up
that?
And running? Well, if you get, Phil, if get in touch with the team. I don't have all the prices for all of the different, but it's a much more affordable way. But the point I was going to make was, if you choose not to renew your software maintenance agreement, you still have the option of upgrading as well. So there's choice available, and I think that's really important for people from a company that you can that you can trust.
That you can trust. I like that. That's very good. But can I ask this? You mentioned if you don't want, you got the choice of not buying a new SMA.
Yes.
But can you carry on using that full license that you buy? Is that perpetual? So
absolutely, perpetual. Yeah, it's a full license. It's not going to stop working. It's not a subscription. It's a full license.
It's not time based at all.
No, it's not. No, It's not time based. So you can carry on using that. And then we all, as I said before, we always recommend keeping your assistive technology up to date, because the landscape, the technology landscape is always evolving, and as I mentioned before, people are relying on assistive technology to be working. And to be able to do the things they're doing as part of their everyday lives, whether that's at home, in education, or at work. So we always recommend keeping and get up to date. But there is choice there. There is still flexibility in terms of how you upgrade, when you upgrade, etc.
Or if you need to. I think that's important as well, because you're absolutely right when it comes to employment, and things like that, education maybe. Absolutely. You want to always keep up to date, so you've always got, no problems with the latest Windows update or Office software. But there's lots of people out there that may be using, a 10-year-old laptop that they're not going to update anyway, and they just want to know that once they buy something, it's going to continue working until the technology, the laptop or whatever, stops. But the actual screen reader software itself, let's say, will keep working, and there's no need to, it's almost like a yearly subscription at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you talk about keep working, we know that technology changes over time. So,
of course,
obviously, what's working today, may change tomorrow, and that's why it's important, as sort of Stephen was saying, is sustainable, because we have a team of dedicated developers who are constantly monitoring for changes in Windows. Anything that gets reported to us, we're a listening company. We try to make sure that we're responding to any feedback that we're getting, and making sure that the technology does stay up to date as well. So yes, the license won't stop, but that's why we always recommend keeping the assisted technology up to date with a software maintenance agreement, because it's an affordable way to do so, and it just means that the assisted technology will keep will keep working.
And you're talking here to JAWS customers, aren't you? Because ultimately you're saying to these people, look, that if the upcoming costs are just too much to bear for you, if you can't afford to buy JAWS and people will want to and absolutely do want to, then they will, and that's great. But for people who may be on a budget, especially home users, in particular home users here, who seem to be the most impacted by the changes, and arguably other people who may feel that they are the ones going to have to look elsewhere. If that's the case for those people, you're saying here's an option, here's a choice, here's a good option for you. You're not really talking to the Shauns of the world who are using NVDA, because you can't compete with free.
Absolutely. And let me make it clear as well. We don't want people to be looking at Dolphin and saying, I'm going to buy that just because of an offer. We want to make sure that everybody's able to use the assistive technology that's right for them. So that's why it's important to have the trial available, so you can try it for yourself. We've got all of the learning resources, which we also spoke about earlier, so that you can kind of get started in a really straightforward way as well. Because ultimately, you need to be, everyone needs to be able to have the assistive technology available, so that they can, do the things that they're wanting to do as part of their everyday lives. Whether that's, as you mentioned, people at home. We also, have heard concerns, from businesses, from the other end of the spectrum with, from the market as well. So it's not, yes, absolutely is definitely something that we're hearing from people using assistive technology at home, but also in education and the workplace as well.
Choice is good. Choice is good. That's the key.
Oh, come on, let's be honest. People are looking at those JAWS prices going, what? And now you're saying, hey, we're over here. Come and take a look. There's nothing wrong with that.
Why not?
I know you couldn't possibly comment on that, Simon. No. Okay, that's fine.
Listen, before you go, I want to mention one other product that you have, which I think is important to reference, because it's a slightly different product, although it's absolutely in the same vein. And this is for people who perhaps come to computing or want to come to computing. They want to be able to send emails. They want to be able to listen to podcasts and internet radio, do all that kind of stuff and more. But they don't really want to engage with Windows or Mac or Chrome or any of that. They really just want a simple interface. And I don't mean simple as in easy or whatever the phrase that no one likes to use.
What's wrong with easy, Stephen Scott?
I don't have issue with it. I don't have issue with it at all.
An easy life.
But some people do. Talk to us about GuideConnect.
Yeah, GuideConnect, it is a wonderful product, as you say, because we know that a lot of people are experiencing sight loss maybe later in life. The leading causes being age-related conditions in macular degeneration or glaucoma, which tend to come on as people get older, and maybe haven't grown up with assistive technology as part of their working life as well. So that transition there from being able to use a computer using sight to then trying to navigate, Microsoft Office or web browsers using a screen reader can be quite complex. So with GuideConnect, we're offering straightforward step-by-step menus that really take that complexity out of using a computer to do all the sorts of things that you'd want to be able to do, whether that's sending emails, writing documents, accessing information online. It connects to cameras and scanners, just like SuperNova does, to be able to make printed resources accessible. And listen, stay entertained with a range of radio stations and a range of podcasts, just like Double Tap.
Hey.
Is on the list for.
Are we on there?
Little plug for you there. But being able to do it in a straightforward way, so you have step-by-step menus with a voice which is guiding you through the different options. So it will say, there are 10 options on the screen. Emails is one of 10. To send and receive emails, select this option.
Yeah, that's great.
This is almost the Blind Shell Classic or Smart Vision smartphones
Synaptic,
of the computer world.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's Windows based, so it comes as available. You can use it on desktops and on laptops, just like you can with SuperNova. We also provide a TV box option with GuideConnect as well. So that is a little box that connects to the TV by a HDMI cable, and that comes with a remote control. So if there are people who maybe aren't as comfortable with typing on a QWERTY keyboard, you can use the remote to dictate messages. You can use the remote to navigate through the different options on the screen. Really taking that complexity out, so that people like us who maybe aren't as confident with technology are still available to get everything that they need to out of the digital world.
That's so cool. That's a computer in disguise. People don't even know they're using a computer.
Yeah, well, we try not to talk about operating systems and those sorts of things with GuideConnect, because effectively, it's about being it's a closed sort of environment where it takes over the whole screen, but it's protecting against some of that complexity, so that you can do all the things you want to be able to do, connect to friends and family, read your printed mail, and not have to be dependent on other people. To kind of read your post back to you. It also includes, just like SuperNova, as I mentioned, includes EasyReader. All of the a lot of the libraries, I should say, available in EasyReader are also available in GuideConnect. So you can, with GuideConnect, you can download content from NLS Bard if you're in the States, or RNIB if you're in the UK. To get audiobook content that for sort of leisure reading as well. So it's a great product. I'm very pleased that you bought GuideConnect up as well, Stephen.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's important people know the choices out there. Again, this is all about choice and telling people, there's a lot of people out there who like smartphones. We get this all the time. What smartphone should I buy? I don't know if an iPhone is right for me. I don't feel comfortable with touch screens. And it's good to be able to say to people, here are alternative options. And that's what we try and do here. Listen, your job's to sell it. We just tell people what's out there, right? That's our thing. We just want to give people a platform to say, here is what is out there, because the information is often difficult to access. It's fine if you're in the bubble of access to work, or, disabled students allowance in the UK, those kind of options, or NDIS in Australia, or whatever the options are in the US and Canada, but unfortunately, for a lot of people who are listening to this show, they may not even have heard of Dolphin Computer Access today. Even I struggled with the name. There you go. What does that tell you? And not enough coffee this morning. That is what it tells you. But, ultimately, it's important people know about these things. I'm so glad you came on to talk about this, Simon. You got to come back on more, because we get a lot of criticism. Well, I get a lot of criticism because I don't mention your name enough.
Yeah, I'll be delighted to come back on, maybe, talking through some of the different products that, we offer. It'd be great to bring some friends with us as well, because I appreciate,
Please.
Today we're hearing one voice from Simon, who's worked at Dolphin for the last 18 years and, absolutely loves the company. But it'd be great to bring some people from the community to tell their story, because, that's a great thing, about working with Dolphin, is that, we're trusted by so many different, we have tens of thousands of people around the world, and everybody's got their own story about what assistive technology means to them and how it empowers them as part of their everyday lives as well. So I think that would be great if you'd be open to having us back. It'd be great.
Anytime, Simon. You're always welcome here. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Great to have Simon Kitchen on the show with us. Not the first time for Dolphin, though. We've had Dolphin on before. We had them on when we were at CSUN. Remember we met MJ when we were over there?
Yeah, absolutely. They're always at the events, by the way. So if you want more information, definitely check them up if you're at one of these events. But you can also go to their website, I believe, Stephen Scott, which is...
Oh, it's a nice, easy one. yourdolphin.com. And if you want to know more about that offer that they're running at the minute, all you have to do is add /supernova. That's all one word. So yourdolphin.com/supernova. You can also choose which country you would like to see the contact number, and it will adapt and change for you. So if you're in Canada or the US, you will see a relevant number for you. It will probably appear, I would imagine, natively to you if you're in that country, because it'll pick up that you're there. But if not, you can change and you can find out how to contact them by phone if you wish to do so. But that's the web address for the detail on the phone.
Fun. Okay, great. You know what? You mentioned about trialing it out there. 30 days trial is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to look at the resources, going to get my head around it. Because I think the thing for me was SuperNova was always magnification first. That was always my thinking. And you know, Zoom Text and SuperNova to me were very much one and the same. Now, of course, they're not. I'd say that SuperNova is probably more like Fusion, which is JAWS and Zoom Text combined.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But for a lot of us, there's going to be, there will of course be people who will use both. And Fusion is very popular, as is SuperNova. But for me, you know, I'm a JAWS guy or an NVDA guy, so it's screen reader first. So, you know, I'll be intrigued to try this out just as a screen reader. I'm not going to try out the magnification. No point.
No, of course
Would be
not.
the point. It'd be ridiculous.
No.
And I wouldn't be able to give you any
But lots of
kind
people will, of course.
serious on it. Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting, though. We'll have plenty to say on this when we come back tomorrow, I'm sure. Can't wait to hear what you guys have got to say as well. Feedback at doubletaponair.com. Do you use Dolphin? Are you trialing it out? Have you been using it for years? Then get in touch and tell us your thoughts on it. And if you're thinking about switching over, what would make you switch? So, interesting conversation. Continues tomorrow, as always, on Double Tap. Shaun Preece, have a great day. Mind for that saw. Oh, goodness me.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. If we see you tomorrow.